Jelena is good. She provides buffs to her team, and these buffers have consistently been the strongest option across all game modes for years now. If you don't have Cabernet, Infer, or LL, now's your chance to experience the power that a damage amping center can provide. If you already have Cabernet, Infer, and LL, well, the conversation gets a bit more complicated. Jelena provides several buffs, but for the most part, you want to use her on crit-based teams. This includes centers who do their damage through auto attacks, like Nox, Corrin, and Lady Pearl, and Bianca. Centers who naturally crit already, like Darren, Mantis, Adela, and Pine. Or, if you plan on grabbing the upcoming limited center, Jelena will eventually be a great pairing with any center from the Arcana tendency. Jelena's kit looks complicated, but it's actually quite simple. She first applies a raindrop over a targeted ally's head. This indicates the ally has boosted crit rate, crit damage, and regular damage. Jelena can then target that same ally to invigorate the raindrop, increasing the crit damage it provides. This invigoration makes the raindrop glow a bright white. It will eventually wear off, returning the raindrop to a muted dull color. Jelena has very good energy regeneration in active combat, and she can maintain 100% uptime on the invigoration if you recast it when you see the light go dim. Ideally, you're able to keep the invigorated, glowing bright white state for the entire stage. Fair warning, the raindrop and the associated invigoration will drain the HP of the targeted ally, but it will also provide lifesteal. The idea here is that you're encouraged to keep fighting to stay alive. If you run out of targets and find your HP draining too fast, place the allied center on the tile behind Jelena, and Jelena will remove the raindrop. Do this as a last resort, as Jelena wants to maintain as much uptime on her raindrop and invigoration as she can. Okay, let's go ahead and take all that information and look at BFL. In BFL, Jelena is a hyper carry support for crit-based hyper carries. It's a lot of words. With the upcoming limited center, this will eventually include all Arcanas, but not yet. Apply Jelena's raindrop and keep the invigoration state active, and let your buffed up ally go swinging. Once you break the course, activate Jelena's ECB for a particularly invigorating invigoration, and the boss will melt. You want to save the ECB for the end of the fight, because once the ECB ends, all the raindrops are removed and will have to be reapplied. If your allies are capable of dealing critical damage, Jelena is the highest damaging support currently available, though you will be passing up on the healing and cleansing Cabernet provides, the core breaking the Cabernet and Infer provide, and the SP generation that LL provides. Jelena provides the highest amount of damage, but her competition offers additional utility beyond just pure numbers. So she's good, but she's got competition. In story, Mania training, ROTD, and other non-BFL game modes, Jelena actually performs even better. Jelena's big strength here is her uptime. She can keep 100% uptime on the invigoration raindrop and keep your allies at max power regardless of the stage's duration. This is one of the things that made LL so powerful, and we're seeing Jelena obtain similar levels of power for the same reason. There's not much to say about these game modes. Just keep that raindrop active, make that raindrop shine bright white as often as possible by recasting Jelena's ult whenever you see it become dull and muted, and reap the rewards of the incredible damage that Jelena provides. I wouldn't touch Jelena's ECB in these game modes. It's usually not worth having to recast her raindrops once the ECB has ended. Again, the ECB removes raindrops, so be careful. Okay, biggest thing to note is Jelena's team compositions. These will change dramatically if you plan on getting the limited center, so check back on the channel when she releases to see what's changed. For now, Jelena's team compositions remain quite small. She needs an ally worth applying her raindrop to. That ally needs to be able to benefit from crits, and that ally needs to be able to do high amounts of damage. The possible options are Nox, Corrin, Bianca, Darren, Mantis, and Pine. Other centers may work, but that would highly depend on seasonal buffs, allowing those other options to perform critical hits. Once you've selected Jelena's raindrop recipients, you need to fill out your team with core breaking, healing, and tanking. There's a lot of room for creativity and personal preference here, so the later half of this example is composed of examples for each role and not necessarily must-have pairings. Options like Cabernet and Infer allow you to double down on damage and core breaking, while options like Cassie and Hamel allow you a comfier ride through Jelena's Raindrop's HP drain. If needed, you can throw in an Endura to hold things in place for your Raindropped ally to take care of later. Owo is particularly good here because she provides additional crit rate, doubling down on the crit. As for Crimebrands, these will also change in the future. Jelena will be receiving a dedicated Crimebrand in the next Tide of Ashes. If you have the Judgment Crimebrand, the Crimebrand with Jelena's portrait on it, use that. Use that. Otherwise, we're currently stuck with the classic energy-based option of tuning Cope and Corridor. This lets you start the fight with your Raindrop, getting your team online early. You could also run tuning with Inversion Slash, but this is largely unnecessary. Jelena already has enough energy income to maintain 100% uptime on her Invigorated Raindrop. She does not need the additional SP income that Inversion Slash provides. It's better to put this set on a different supportive member instead and use the starting energy. As for Jelena's ideal investment, Jelena is perfectly fine at S0 and even ECB0, making her one of the most resource-friendly centers to date. Jelena's S1 provides a nice quality of life, allowing 2 raindrops to be present, and immediately casting 1 raindrop at the start of the fight. This is a very powerful shackle, and if you like Jelena, or if you like pushing high scores, then I heavily recommend it. But at the end of the day, it's not necessary. Jelena is able to maintain 100% invigorated uptime at Shackle 0, and that's all she needs to do. As for the ECB, I wouldn't even recommend this unless your Jelena's already Shackle 1. Jelena's ECB invigorates all raindrops on the field and provides additional damage bonuses. At Shackle 0, this is honestly largely useless. At Shackle 1, it allows you easy access to 2 invigorations. Keep in mind that the raindrop is removed at the end of the ECB, and those raindrops will need to be reapplied once the ECB ends. Because of this, it's best practice to use the ECB at the end of a stage to avoid having your raindrops removed and needing to be recasted. ECB 3 is very powerful, as the bonus is triple, but this is only felt by speedrunners and high score chasers, and I would not recommend this feature to the average player. I would stick to S0 ECB 0 unless you're some filthy YouTuber who posts their scores in video titles to attract more viewers. At that point, you might want S1 ECB 3 in order to make more click-worthy titles. If you're that person, you might also have really nice hair. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, for the tier list, Jelena has unrivaled power. This tier is starting to become more ironic because there are a lot of rivals in the unrivaled tier. Cabernet, Infer, LL, and now Jelena are all fighting for the same role. Cabernet and Infer provide their large damage boosts and much needed core breaking for BFL. LL and Jelena provide permanent buffs, making them more appealing in non-BFL content. Of the bunch, Jelena provides the most damage, but at the cost of HP drain, while the other 3 offer additional utility beyond just damage. They're all equally powerful, and I will denote that by placing Jelena in the middle of this group. Pine, the A-rate counterpart, is also strong. Her single target damage is mid, but her wave clear is among the best in the game, and she has near infinite core breaking, competing even with Labyrinth. Pine is giga busted, and you'll almost never see her in boss content, waves only. Alright, I hope y'all have enjoyed. My name's I Don't Care L, IDC, whatever y'all want to call me. I make Showcase or Path to Nowhere, limiting myself to level 70 centers, and now I make character guides. I hope y'all leave a like and subscribe. These videos take a lot of time to make, and I recently picked up a new engineering job, so these videos are taking up a significant portion of my available free time. I love seeing y'all interact, and some of your comments downright tickle me. In a good way. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
In the name of almighty love. It makes a decent meal.